Look bad is because of my wife. If the picture is crooked, okay, we're good? Alright guys, everybody, welcome, welcome. Tonight we're going to study the sign of Leo. Sign of Leo. Month of Av. The month of Av and the constellation of Leo. Av means what in Hebrew?
Father.
Father. So when Abraham, in the book of Formation, 4,500 years ago, named this month Av, he didn't just pick a name. This name was given to him from the life force of God for a good reason. Av means father. So this month is a father. Father of what? Father of who? Why Abraham called this month Av? What's the significance of father? Spiritually, Kabbalistically. We know that Nisan, the first month of the Hebrew calendar, is also considered to be the father of all months. So what is the relationship between Nisan, the very first month of spring, versus Av, this month in the middle of the summer? And we know that in our galaxy, in the solar system, we learned that different planets in the solar system affects different months. The planet that affects the month of the sign of Leo is the Sun. The Sun. And Sun is the only planet that affects this month. And Sun only affects, makes an impression or controls, or whatever you want to name it, the month of Av. We know that there are 7 planets in our galaxy, and each planet, like the Mercury or Jupiter or the rest of them, they all affect 2 different months, 2 different signs. Except there are 2 planets that only impress or controls 2 separate months. Last week when we studied Cancer, we learned that the planet Moon controls Cancer, only controls Cancer, or affects Cancer, or make an impression on Cancer. And now, right after Cancer comes the month of Av, Leo, and Sun takes over and controls that month. What does it mean? So what? One thing we need to understand is that all the planets in our solar system, they all go around the Sun. All of them. Earth, Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, all of them. They all go around the Sun. And how do they go around the Sun? Not in a perfect circular way. They come close to the Sun, they go far, and they come back. They rotate around the Sun, but in an unusual way. They come close to the Sun, and somehow they move away, and then they turn back, and they go around again. Why? Why all the planets in our solar system goes around the Sun? Why they don't go around the Earth? Why? There is a very good reason for it. And one thing we have to understand are the Leos, in general, are very, very strong people. Most strongest in our solar system. You know who is a Leo? Napoleon. Mussolini. You know who Mussolini was? The Italian dictator. Napoleon, the French Empire. Bill Clinton is a Leo. Madonna is a Leo. Alfred Hitchcock, this amazing director, is a Leo. Fidel Castro is a Leo. A lot of Leos, a lot of powerful characters are Leo. Why? And as I explained before, the destruction of the first temple and the second temple, the first Bet HaMikdash and the second Bet HaMikdash, happened on the 9th of Av. So somehow the 9th of Av, it seems to be a very negative day. But we know that the 9 of Av not only is the day of the destruction of the temple, Beit HaMikdash, it's also the birthday of Mashiach. Interesting. The birthday of the Mashiach falls on the 9 of Av, the most difficult day of the year, or the most negative day of the year. You know what we do on 9 of Av? We fast. In the morning, we sit on the floor. When we don't put on our tefillin, the men don't put on their tefillin until noon. Then from noon on, all of a sudden they say Chag Sameach. It becomes a holiday. We connect to the power of Mashiach. So what is what? Is it bad or is it good? Is it a positive day or is it a negative day? And what is so amazing is, as I explained before, there's no wedding, there's no engagement in the month of Av until the 9 of Av. And then right after 9 of the 15th day of the month of Av, it's called Tu B'Av. It's the most positive day of the year. It's what's considered the Valentine's Day of the Hebrew calendar. It's the night that all the weddings, everybody wants to have their wedding on the 15th day of the Av. So we see this extreme duality in the month of Av. Is it a positive day or is it a negative? Positive month or a negative month? I mean, Mussolini, a very strong character with crazy mind, was a Leo. Napoleon, very powerful, but Napoleon considered to be one of the better leaders in the world. Was Bill Clinton good or bad? You know, is Fidel Castro good for Cuba or bad for Cuba? Alfred Hitchcock, is he a great director or he's not a great director? So we see that this amazing duality in the month of Av, in the sign of Leo. By the way, if you want to find your soulmate, if you haven't found your soulmate, the Tu B'Av considered to be the night that you will meet your soulmate. And what is so interesting is that when we say soulmate, we think, when we talk about a romantic soulmate, you know, my love. But we have soulmate in different categories. Two partners who are in business and they get along perfectly, considered to be soulmates in business. You have soulmate in a girl-to-girl relationship or man-to-man relationship, good friends or good soulmates, good partners. In every aspect of relationships, you have a soulmate.
So you're saying you can have more than one soulmate?
We have different kind of soulmate. We have a romantic soulmate, a man and a wife, as a marriage person could be soulmate, or like I said, in business, you may have a partner that you get along perfectly, and it could be the sign of a soulmate. Okay. So we know that each sign has an interior energy and an exterior energy, right? The exterior energy of Leo is what? Fire. It's a fire sign. We have 4 different elements: water, earth, fire, and air. So Leo is a fire sign. And when we say fire sign, we means their exterior energy, the energy that they dissipate to the earth, is fire. And guess what? What is their inner energy of a Leo?
Fire.
Fire. So it's a fire and fire. Exactly. Exactly. Cancer was what? Water and water, right? But Leo is fire and fire. As you remember, we said the first month of each sign is on the right column, which is positive, is water. The second month, in this case, is Av, which is on the left side, which is fire. So Leo is fire and fire. Be careful. All right. I have so many pages of the attributes and characters of the Leo, probably more than any other sign. We're going to talk about their character, and it's very, very fascinating. One thing is very easy to recognize as a Leo. It's so easy to look at somebody and say, he or she is a Leo. The hair.
The hair.
The hair. Leo has hair. Male or female. There is something about Leo with their hair. They have a lot of hair. They have a lot of hair.
I know a Leo.
The hair of a Leo, it overpowers their physical look.
What if they don't have hair?
Yeah, what if they're bald?
Yeah.
What is that?
Chances are, before they lose their hair, if they, God forbid, they lose their hair, they have a lot of hair. And why?
With a
It's a
lion.
lion's face.
Lion. Lion. When you look at a lion, what do you see?
Hair.
Hair all over their head. So all my Leo's friends and families, they all have a lot of hair, beautiful hair, overwhelming looking of hair. Another thing about Leo's physical attribute is the expression of their face. The expression of a face of a Leo is very fascinating. If you look at Bill Clinton's face,
We don't talk about her.
no, Bill Clinton, I'm not talking about Hillary, Bill.
Okay,
When Bill Clinton talks, when you look at his face, like convention a couple of nights ago, even though I'm sure he took a shower, he shaved and everything, but he looked sleepy. You look at the face of Alfred Hitchcock, it looks sleepy. They have the face that kind of resonate, that they just woke up. They have this, they call it, I hate to call it lazy look, but they have this sleeping look, this lazy look. The face is kind of, you'll see it. You'll see it. Leo stands very tall. The Leo, they stand very tall. They walk very slow. You don't see a Leo run.
Yeah,
Leos are not in rush. You remember Aries, always in rush, always running? Leo walks slow. Leo talks slow. They talk slow. When you look at the lion, do you see a lion run? No, unless the lioness is trying to catch something. Otherwise, a lion walks very slowly, very powerfully. And you see a lion. When a Leo walks into a room, when a Leo walks into a party, when a Leo walks in to any gathering, you recognize them, you see them, you notice them. They need to be noticed. They love to be noticed. Their head is always up. You don't see a Leo that is like this. You don't see a shy Leo. Even if they are shy, their shyness is trying to get your attention. Leo requires you to notice them. They need to be recognized. They need to be noticed. So even they may act shy, don't fall for it. That shyness is their trick to get noticed. Okay. When they talk, when a Leo talks, it's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. They love to talk. They talk long. You know, Fidel Castro is famous to have the longest speeches. He talks for hours. Hours, very dramatically. Passion. Bill Clinton, again, your favorite guy.
Oh, yeah.
2 nights ago, almost an hour, we're talking about his wife. Very dramatic. Great speakers. Great speakers. And they are very strong physically. Very strong physically. They're very strong emotionally and mentally too. When a Leo gets sick, they heal faster than any other signs. Any other sign in the zodiac. They don't stay in their sickness. They don't get, when they, God forbid, they get ill, they overcome it very quickly. They recover faster than anybody else in the zodiac sign. They can become very spiritual. Spirituality comes very, very natural to them. They understand spirituality, they connect to spirituality. It's very, very easy for them. Leo can fix everybody's problem. Leo has an answer for everybody, knows how to fix everybody's problem. If you have a problem, you go to a Leo, they love to help you, they're very wise, they're very smart, they know what your problem is, they love to help you, they tell you, come and I'll tell you what to do, what you need to do. And most of the time they are right. In a way, it seems that they need to help people. They want to help people. It's their genuine attribute that they want to help. When they see somebody in a difficult situation, they are there to help. They want to help. They have the best advice. They tell you what exactly you need to do and how you need to be, what to do. They are amazing. I have a friend, a very close friend of mine, is a doctor. He's the best doctor I've ever seen. He always, over the phone, he can tell me what is wrong with me. He prescribed the best medicine for me, and he follows it up more than anybody doctor. He knows exactly what I need to do. And they have an answer for everything. They know everything.
Over here?
I'm sorry? They are very, very committed to help people. Very committed to help people. They know what is good for you. They really know what is good for you. They're best friends. Best friends and your worst enemy. They either your best friend or their worst enemy. And we'll get to that. Why? How could be? How could this duality exist in a Leo? That they could be your best friend or, God forbid, your worst enemy. You don't want an enemy of Leo. Believe me, you don't want a Leo as an enemy. When their attitude, they radiate this feeling that I don't need your help, don't try to help me. I don't need you. This is their attitude. But it's not really what they feel inside. They may act that they don't need you. They may act that you don't need to do me any favor. But this is just what they show outside. They have a very natural charm. They're very, very charming. They easily control people around them. Easily. Scorpio struggles to control people. For a Leo, they control everything. They control the whole group of people. They can control the whole world. And their sense of controlling is not for the sake of controlling. It's very important. They do control, but their controlling issue is not like the controlling issue that the Scorpio has that we're going to learn. They control because this is how they can help. This is how they can share. This is how they can help you with your situation. So it's a positive controlling. It's not a negative controlling. They don't mean to control because they're vicious, they're bad, they have dark ideas. No. They control because they love you. They know it's good for you. It comes from a good source. And let me tell you this is so important, maybe one of the most important things you're going to learn from tonight's classes. And this is for the Leos. If a Leo doesn't become spiritual, they'll have the worst case of ego and arrogance. And we'll understand why. And if they do not become spiritual, they become very harmful for themselves more than any other people. Spirituality for a Leo is their remedy. is their remedy, their only remedy. Their only remedy. Because of their ego, because of their character, if they do not bring that spirituality in their life, the ego takes over and they become the 9 of Av versus the 15th day of Av. That duality that we talk about, the power of the sun, the nourishing of the light force of sun versus the destruction part of the sun is all has to do with where they want to be in their life, which path they're going to choose. You know, it's interesting. Leo is always proud. They have pride. They're always proud of themselves. Even in spirituality, their intuition of being proud and the aspect of pride in themselves, even when they become spiritual, you see it in there. Leo loves excitement. They love parties. They love gathering. They love to be among people. They love to be noticed by everybody. They need to be not necessarily center of attention, but they need to get attention. This is where the Leo shines, in gathering, in social gathering, in parties. They always attract attention. They need a lot of excitement. They need a lot of action. They need to be noticed by all. It's so fascinating. Now there's another important things that we need to discuss is the concept of jealousy. The concept of jealousy is very strong in Leo and is very strong in Scorpio. These two signs, we haven't studied Scorpio yet, we will, but these two signs, the concept of jealousy is very, very strong. But for a Leo, poor Scorpio. Leo, the jealousy of the Leo is a positive jealousy, is a constructive jealousy. The jealousy of the Scorpio is a destructive jealousy. And we learn that. What do I mean by constructive jealousy? Leo says, if he can do it, I can do it. If he can reach to that point, I can reach to that point. The jealousy of the Leo is constructive because it brings them to their potential, to where they can be. They can achieve things with their jealousy. It's constructive. It's not like, I don't want him to have it. No, he has it, good. I want it too. I can reach that too. So it's a constructive jealousy. If you want to have a good relationship with a Leo, don't give him orders. Don't tell him what to do. Ask him what you need to do. But don't order him, don't tell him what to do. And if you want their attention, give him respect. Give him honor. If you want to make connection with a Leo, you need to respect him. You need to give him honor. You need to give him attention. And follow their orders. They're wise. They are very wise. They always have the best answer for you. They're very intellectual. They love to learn. They love to study. And the reason behind it is, why do they want to learn? Because they know by learning they can help more people. Their purpose behind everything is to be positive, productive, to help other people. Their intuition, their DNA is to help others. So whatever tools that they can gather to help other people, that's what they're interested. If they're a doctor, they want to learn because they want to help people. They can be very perfectionist in what they do. And you know, it's so fascinating. We talked about the duality that exists in this month, and this duality lives in the way they live their life, in two very extreme ways. They either work very hard or they're lazy. There's no middle ground. They can fall into laziness or they work a lot. They work for hours and hours. They can work overtime, overshift, or they can stay in bed more than 8 to 10 hours. Two extreme paths. Very two extreme paths. They don't like to waste energy. They don't like to waste time. Just the opposite of the Leo, opposite the Aries. And what is so amazing is when they face a problem, they find a solution for that problem. They never surrounded to problems. Problem for a Leo is a challenge. They always look for challenges. They always look for the hard life. This is what they look for. They look for difficulties, problems, challenges. That's how they are. They're not afraid of challenges. They're not afraid of hard times. They're not afraid of difficulties. Responsibility is the name of game for them. They love it. Give them responsibility. They're beautiful with it. They're perfect with it. They love it. They're very practical. They're very bright. So many good things Leos has, right? Poor Scorpio. We're going to get to Scorpio and it's so sad. I think Farima left because I go after Scorpio so much. They are perfect people for organizing things. They're the best organizers. Events, social events, parties, programs, they are fantastic. They give direct order. They don't go around the bush. You remember we talked about Cancer, that they always go around the bush. They don't talk straight to you. Leo is straightforward. You do this, you do that. You're good, you're bad. You like it, you don't like it, that's what it is. They're very sincere. Very, very sincere. They have open hearts. They always give you compliments. Always tell you what is good about you. You know, when a Leo tells you something, you remember. When a Leo makes a comments, he leaves an impression. Their comments, what they say, leave such a strong impression, you remember. You remember what the Leo told you. They love their house. They love their homes. Their house is like a palace to them. They like vast areas. They like big homes. Simple homes, clean home, organized. They are either very, very organized or they're very, very messy. It's not between. A Leo's house is always nice and neat and organized, or God forbid, it could be a total mess. There is no way between. They don't like sophisticated furniture. They like comfortable, nice furniture. They don't like sophisticated colors. They like nice, comfortable colors. They love freedom for themselves and for you. They need to have freedom. And they give you freedom. They're not tight. They're very, very open-minded. They usually don't trust people too well. They have an issue with trusting people. Somehow they know you. Somehow they know who you are, what your intuition is. Like I said, they could be your best friend and or worst enemies. They always give you ideas. They always have original ideas. And one thing about Leo is they cry very easily. Over-crying people. They cry very easily. One thing I need to make clear, and it's very important for the Leos, they seem to be emotionally confused. Emotionally confused. They look for justice. The male Leo looks for justice all the time. And that's where the female Leos are separate from the male Leos. And we'll discuss that in a little bit. They love gossip. They love gossip. They love rumors. They can judge people by just hearing the rumors, hearing the gossip, even if they don't know them. They tell you who they are. They're very optimistic. They are very optimistic. They don't suffer much in their life. And like I said, they recover from pain, from difficulties, from challenges, from sickness. They overcome it very quickly. They love romance. They love to love. They need to be in love. They look for love. They love to have a family. They care so much about their family. They love to have kids. They love to have a family. Why do they love to have a family? So they can share. They can give love. They can protect. They can take care. That intuition in them, that feeling of giving, protecting, taking care, all that is so strong in them that they want to have their own family to take care of. You know, one thing we learned about cancer is and monies. You remember we talked about cancer? People who are born in the month of Tammuz, they're great with money. They love money. They know what to do with money. Leos, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with it. They are very extreme. They are very extreme. They're not a good investors. A Leo better find a Cancer to handle their money.
Wow.
They can be very generous, extremely generous, or extremely tight. They don't know what to do with money. They don't like to be single for a long time. Leo loves to get married early, quickly. They want to have love in their life. They want to have family in their life. They need family. They need kids. They are born to be the leaders. Leos are leaders from their childhood. A Leo, 6-year-old Leo, he is the leader of his gang. They are the leaders, male or female, both. And they expect people to see them that they're the leaders. They want the respect. They want the honor. They know how to lead a team. They know how to lead a revolution. And they need people to know who's the king. It's very important for them. Around them, they know who's the king. They never ask for help. They never ask for help. But they expect you to be there for them. They want you to be there, but they're not necessarily going to ask for it. They have tremendous energy. They have tremendous. I love Leos. I love Leos. So of all the signs, so many good characters, huh? Now we're going to get to a Scorpio very soon. You see how poor a Scorpio is. I don't know what God brought Scorpios in.
I know, you're great. What are you worried about?
Oh, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Of all the signs, most of the males and the females are very much the same. Except there is a huge difference between a male and a female of a Leo. Of a Leo. And even if you look, you know, of all the animals, male and females, you can hardly distinguish between a male and a female of any creation. But except lion. A male lion versus a female lion, very different. Very different. Their role is very different in this world. They are different. And we'll get to that. So let's understand where all this intuition is coming from, where these energies, these attributes are coming from, and what is their correction. Why do we need a Leo? What is Leo is all about? Why such a strong sign exists in our system? To understand the Leo, if you understand the sun, you understand the Leo. When Abraham Avinu, in the book of Formation, in Sefer Yetzirah, says that the sun rules over Leo, or impresses Leo, that's the secret of understanding Leo. What the sun represents for us in our life? It's a source of energy, right? We need the sun. We cannot live without the sun. 48 hours, if the sun wasn't in our galaxy for 48 hours, we all die. Nothing would live. No vegetation can survive without a ray of sun. We need the sun. And you know, in the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says that the color of the sun is green. Green? I thought the sun is red, yellowish, right? But Zohar says, no, actually the real color of the sun is green. And just recently, the scientists found out that that's right. The color of the sun is not necessarily red or yellow. It's green. And, you know, there are three things that in Talmud says there are three things that help us to connect to the taste of Garden of Eden, the heaven. There are three things. One is Shabbat, one is sex, and one is the sun. The sun gives us the taste of the Garden of Eden, the heaven. It has that power of nourishment. It's that power of happiness that brings us. It's that power of healing that we all need. But then again, if you look at the sun, you see there is a duality in sun. Sun can be a source of healing, source of energy, source of vitamin, source of life, right? We can't live without it. But then again, sun could be a force of disease, a power of, a source of burning and suffering and pain. If you sit in the sun for too long, what happens? You get burned. God forbid, there is a skin cancer that causes because of the sun. So we see this duality in sun. We can't live without it. This concept of woman can live with them, can live without them, it actually should be said about the sun. Can live with the sun and can live without the sun. We need the sun. And somehow you see it. All these planets, as I talked about in the beginning of the class, they all go around the sun. How do they go around the sun? It seems like they get close to the sun. The sun is here. Like the earth comes close to the sun. It needs the power of the sun. But then again, when it stays with it, somehow it becomes overwhelmed with the power of the sun and it goes far. And when it goes far, it misses the sun again. So it comes back again around the sun. You see the sun and it goes away from the sun. If you have a Leo friend, you stay with the Leo friend, chances are you get burned by it. Chances are they give you so much, you get burned by it. And you may not want to see him for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but then you miss him. You miss their energy. You may not see him for a few weeks or a few months, and somehow, all of a sudden, you miss them. You want to get back to them. You get back to them, you stay for a couple of days, and you say, oh, they're too much. They're too powerful. Just like the sun. We have this Kabbalist, as I explained in the very first class of astrology. His name is Rabbi Shabtai Dagenrov. He lived in Italy. He lived in Venice. And he has a book that talks about all the stars, all the planets. And his book, he says, the sun is hot and it's cold. Sun is humid and it's dry. How could it be? And now the scientists have come to this realization that this is true. The scientists now learn that all kind of form of temperature exists within the sun. All the forms of energy flows with the sun. All kind of it. All kind of it. All kind of weather. All kind of heat or cold. All kind of characteristic of any form of energy exists within the sun. And that's why Abraham Avinu called this month the Father. Because it provides everything. A father brings bread, and he gives you a hard time if you don't do what he wants you to do. Sometimes the father is too harsh, but again, you need the support of your father. You need what the father brings to you. You can't spend too much time with your father because he might be too much for you. But then again, you need your father to be around you. Sun is the manifestation of all the energy forces that we have in the physical world. And that's where the Leos, they get their energy from. That's what they get power from. That's a Leo. So what is the tikkun of a Leo? What is the tikkun of a Leo? A Leo has to learn that their source of energy is from the life force of God. They're here for a very, very good reason. And in order to balance their energy for themselves and for the whole world, they need to become spiritual. They need to bring this balance into their consciousness, into their life, between the extreme of this way or the other way. This confusion that exists in their emotion, the fact that they can cry all the time, the fact that they can be this way or that way, only spirituality brings balance into the Leo. If they only understand that their role is so important, but only with balance they can benefit their own life and the people around them. They can only help when they are asked to help. They can be beneficial. And when they bring spirituality into their life, they'll be a happy Leo. And I said there's a difference between a Leo man versus a Leo woman, a lioness. What's the difference? And that's the only sign that has a difference between male and a female. The concept of justice. The concept of justice is very, very strong in the male Leo. But in the female, not so. Not so much. That's the only difference between a male and a female Leo. And how do we see that? You know, you always see a lion with his family, with his wife and his children. When they need food, who goes hunting?
The woman.
The woman goes hunting. The female goes hunting. The male sits. Somehow they look sleepy. They're not. They look sleepy. They look like they're lazy. They're not. But who goes hunting? Who brings the food?
The lion.
The lioness, the female. Somehow, the female Leo understands the only way that they can sustain their life, they can sustain their being, is by getting out and getting what they need to get. The Leo can be passive. The male can be passive. They do have the ambition. They do have the desire. But they can fall into laziness and not achieving what they need to achieve. But the female goes the extra mile. The female is more achieving than the male. They always seek her. They always go after what they need. They always bring the bread to the family. That sense of protection, that sense of providing is much stronger than female because they understand that beyond the justice that rules in this world, sometimes they need to be not so under the concept of justice. When a female lion goes into hunting, it seems so harsh. It seems not fair for a little lamb that they go after. But they understand that if they don't, they can't survive. So that's the only sign that we see the difference between a male and a female. So in order to have a good relationship with Leo, what do we have to do?
Not order.
Don't order them. Don't order them what to do. Pay attention to them. Listen to them. They are the best advisors in your life. They can tell you what you need to do. But understand that you might get burned. They may tell you that you may not like it, or they may tell you harshly. But they mean good. And they mean good. Any questions? So now, maybe we need to put that on the tape too.
Yeah.
The fact that we said the 9 of Av, the most destructive day, exists in the month of Av in the Leo, and the best day of the year, the 15th day of the year, the Tu B'Av, is the most positive day of the year. How could it be? What happens? So we say the Shekhinah goes into hiding. That protection power, the protection shield goes into hiding. So what happens in the first day of the month of Leo? The first day of the month of Leo, the sun is shining. It's very powerful. The second day, it becomes even more powerful. If you look at the 10 Sefirot, the first day of the month of Leo considered to be the Malchut. The second day, Yesod. Third day, Hod. And it goes on until the 9th day, which we connect to the energy called Bina. So every day of the month of Leo, as it goes on, first day, second day, third day, the amount of the light, it becomes more powerful and more powerful. So what's wrong on the 9th of Av? The vessel to receive all that light is not ready. It's not complete. And that's how we get burned. If we're not ready to receive the light that emanates from the month of Av, the sign of Leo, we get burned. What happens on the 15th day of the month of Leo, when everything is perfect? The moon is full. The moon can handle all the lights of the sun. That's why the 15th day of the month of Leo is called Tu B'Av. It's the day that the vessel is totally ready to receive all the lights. And it's a perfect harmony between the male and the female. And that's why you find your soulmate on the 15th day of the month of Leo. Thank you so much, guys. I see you next week.
What's next for you? Scorpio?